Welcome to the Commissioner's Report. I'm your host, Kevin Watler, and we are here now with Commissioner Bell. Welcome, Commissioner Bell.
Glad to be here today.
So who do we have here on the show this morning?
Well, I decided this time in my Commissioner's Report that I would start spotlighting businesses in my district and thought it was very important that we tell the people about Streamsong. I don't know if everybody realizes that we've had this hotel that opened 4 or 5 years ago by Mosaic, and it's if you've never been, I thought it would be great to spotlight, and because I was telling them earlier, you may poll 20 people here in the county and maybe 5 people only know about Streamsong, but it's been a great economic impact to my district and Polk County and the state of Florida. And so we have here today, we have Callie Neslund with Mosaic.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. And then we also have Jim Bullock, and he is the Director of Sales and Marketing for Streamsong.
Commissioner, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so most people, when they hear Mosaic, you don't really think of a hotel.
You don't?
You don't think of a hotel at all. So tell me, how did Mosaic get in this type of business?
Sure, that's a great question, and that's probably the #1 question we get is, why is a phosphate mining company building a hotel or going into the golf course and resort business? And really the story is unique to Polk County and some of the previously mined land that we had here. Part of the process after land is mined is called reclamation. And when people think of reclamation, they think of streams and planting trees and conservation easements, and that's a really important part. But Streamsong went a step further, and Streamsong was really about showcasing what can be done with previously mined land. So not only the environmental sustainability component, but also the economic development and the economical sustainability part.
And Commissioner, what is our role here with your office to the whole entire process?
Well, I serve as the chairman of the Tourist Development Council. So we look at Streamsong as revenue for the county to be able to market the county better. There's a heads and beds tax that comes off of the dollar. It's 5 cents on the dollar for hotel stayers. That means people that come from out of the county that decides to stay a night in a hotel. So we are receiving 5 cents on the dollar revenue for the heads and beds tax. And like I said, we use that money to market Polk County, to go outside of the states and outside of the country to tell people how wonderful it is to come to Polk County.
Perfect. And Jim, what's it like there? Tell me, for those who have not heard of it or haven't been there, what's to offer?
Well, I am, if you will, director of heads and beds, so it's my responsibility to keep the hotel full. And it's 16,000 acres of fabulous land that's been repurposed for a 4.5, 5-star resort experience, 2 golf courses with a 3rd golf course on the way, a destination spa. We have 4 restaurants. We have sporting clays, guided bass fishing. So it truly is a destination, and it's a unique footprint. There's nothing like it in the entire world. And I think as compelling as the bricks and mortars is, it's a beautiful building. It's the story behind it that is so compelling to both individuals and organizations as they come visit our destination.
And I know we were talking before the show, and you're telling me they have a lot of different events that goes on there, like corporate retreats, weddings.
We do. And in 4 short years, we've become the preferred meeting partner of many of the biggest and brightest and fastest growing companies in corporate America. Certainly we have a lot of our backyard companies right here using us on a regular basis to inspire and educate their attendees. And we've recently hosted the 2016 USGA Women's Floorball Amateur Championship, which is a very coveted event. And for a young golf course and a young property to land that type of event, I think speaks well for the destination and the people behind it.
Go ahead.
Well, one more thing I'd like to add is the employment. When they first talked about opening, it was like a dream for everybody, like wonder if it'd come true, and it did. But Mosaic gave their word that whenever they opened, they would hire local. And so they have hired people from the Fort Meade, Bartow, Mulberry, in that area of employment. So we're putting people to work through this hotel.
And Jim, do you have any numbers and around how many employees you have hired?
Well, we have about 310 full-time employees. About 60% of those come right here from Polk County. We fluctuate seasonally with the ebbs and flows of our business models, but we're very proud to have a high level of Polk County employees at our destination. And they come with a strong sense of authenticity. Some of them have never been in hospitality before, but when you get that genuine service gene, it's easy to train servers and things. So we're really excited about that.
The employment piece is exciting for me, kind of as a local and growing up here. having roots in the phosphate industry of, parents or grandparents, but now you've got a new sector for those who want their family to be able to find employment here in the area, want them to stick around, but may not be interested in going into mining or into phosphate. Now you do have that hospitality sector and available opportunities. So our total job count is a little over 300, and the bulk of those are Polk County and Hardee County residents, so the areas that are closest to Streamsong. And it's been really gratifying to see that legacy continue and those opportunities available for some of our local folks.
So for those who don't know even where this is actually located, I'm sure people are going to Google it once they watch this, but tell me exactly, how do you get there and where is this place located?
And am I going directly?
Good, sure.
I would say go through Fort Meade.
Of course.
Streamsong proper is about 16,000 acres, and it sits on the Polk County side of the Polk-Hardee border. So it's southern Polk County. You would take South Florida Avenue if you're coming from Lakeland or from Mulberry, 30, 37, and you go south until you get to 630, and then follow signs from there of continuing south. Right in the heart of what we know as the Bone Valley.
Okay.
But the closest municipality is certainly Fort Meade. We're due west of Fort Meade, about 5 miles.
Okay.
And that was a huge hiccup when they opened. They didn't have signage, so we were able to work together to put signage out there, because if somebody leaves Orlando Airport trying to find Streamsong, it was very difficult once they got into Polk County. Like, where is this? If you start driving, it's like, my goodness, you are out in the wilderness driving around. But you drive up to this building and it looks like something in Arizona, like Flagstaff. It's just so unusual how they've taken this property and built a hotel on it and left it. It's the natural streams and the ponds that are there. It's just a neat experience.
It really is. So tell me, is there something behind the name Streamsong? How did that come about?
It's emblematic of the destination in and of itself. I mean, just the name Streamsong, just resonates with so many people. A nature destination and all that this beautiful area has to offer. So,
Yeah.
I was amazed. I was out there one evening and polled the people that were there, and there was people there from Canada, there was people there from Switzerland, there was people there from Texas, Arizona. I mean, they're getting a diverse set of people but they're marketing. They're doing such a good job, and their marketing piece, because they are touching the golfers and bringing them there. And then also there's other activities that goes out there. And
Sure, no, Melanie, you're right. They come to us for the golf, but they return for so many other reasons. We're iconic in the golf space. In just 4 years, we've become the #1 and #3 golf course in the state of Florida, which has over 1,400 golf courses. So to leapfrog all those golf opportunities to become #1 and 3 in a very short amount of time speaks just, oodles of what we've done with that land. And then, of course, Golf Magazine just named us #10 and #14 at the top 100 courses you can play in the U.S. So
That's fantastic.
we continue to receive these accolades, and as I said, they come for golf. We're on everybody's bucket list, if you will, and those are the first 2 courses. We have a third Streamsong Black coming online in the fall of next year, designed by Gil Hans, the same gentleman who designed the Olympic course in Rio. Oh, wow. So there's a lot of excitement with Streamsong. I mean, when the golf industry has been a little bit is flat to a large degree, but not when you build such an iconic experience like we have. So we've really, there hasn't been an opportunity like this come out of the ground in the golf space for decades. So we're really excited about that. And again, Streamsong, although golf is our DNA, they come for so many other reasons. So we're very excited about it.
I'm excited about the collaboration between Legoland or Poly that's bringing, if somebody comes out for a destination to golf, then they have other activities that they can do in the county with our arts. I mean, we're, Mosaic along with Streamsong. Yes, we want to include all of Polk County in our marketing piece, that we let, the same clientele that's going out there is looking for something to do in the county with the arts, or wanting to take their children to Legoland, or wanting to go, look at the Gators. So the partnerships that we've been able to create out there has just been unbelievable.
Yeah, and to go back to the tourist development tax, there really is a testament to the exciting things that we have going on in Polk County. Streamsong came online about the same time Legoland did, and so I can't speak to their portion, but just the bed tax dollars that are now available to Polk County in the last 3 years for Streamsong, it's over $1 million that is available for culture and the arts. And so we've seen small communities of Fort Meade and Mulberry apply for and receive grants to be able to bring some neat cultural offerings to their residents that they otherwise wouldn't. So you've got Moonlight and Music, a new program that started in Fort Meade, and the Mulberry Phosphate Museum. They have a partnership with the Imperial Symphony Orchestra to bring the orchestra to do a free concert for families in their parking lot. So it's neat from a local pride perspective to see an outgrowth of Streamsong being there and that tourist development tax and what that means for our community here.
Absolutely. And Jim, everyone looks for a good bargain. What type of discounts are offered over at Streamsong?
Well, indeed. We do offer Florida resident rates May through September. And throughout the year we have special events, wine and dinner events, and we also have a very special New Year's package planned for the local community as well. So more to come on that, but you can find all the details on streamsongresort.com. So we encourage everyone to come take a look and explore, but I think most importantly, come out and see us. It's a real discovery destination. It's different than anything out there today. And you know, we're proud that we've been responsible for bringing corporations to this destination to train and meet and motivate from all over the country, and that had never really been to this part of the state before. And there's a real aha moment when they walk, they turn that corner, and they see this beautiful building, you know. So it's very counterintuitive of most Florida destinations. We're not on the beach, you know, and our biggest demand generator is golf. And so we knew it had to be special. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, being number 1 and 3 in the state and ranked high in just about every golf category there is, we're very proud of that. Yeah.
So it's never too early to make your New Year's plans.
That's right.
Start thinking about New Year's.
Absolutely. Or even businesses who want to have a Christmas party out there or something. It's
That's
probably a
right,
good
that's
destination
right.
to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. From corporate meetings to destination weddings to holiday events. It's 25,000 square feet of dedicated meeting space with the 4 restaurants. We have another 60,000 feet of outdoor space with beautiful lakefront views. So there's a lot that you can do at Streamsong.
Perfect.
And we're excited about it.
Well, Callie, I'll give you an opportunity now to have some closing remarks.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. It's you know, Streamsong is a unique project for Mosaic, and it's one that we didn't have any experience in before, but are so pleased with what it's meant for our local community and how it has showcased that previously mined land. And so we are very excited about Streamsong Black opening and the additional golfers that will draw in. You and I think of it being far away in terms of Davenport or Winter Haven, but for those golf aficionados who are flying in from New York, they really like the proximity to the Tampa airport, to the Orlando airport. The fact you can get there in an hour as opposed to Bandon Dunes or some of our competitors that you have to then, you know, get on an airplane and then drive several hours. The fact that it's a close destination, it's easily accessible has been wonderful. And so we are so grateful to Polk County for their collaboration, for their help with, you know, everything from the signage to the employment fairs that we've done. And so we are really glad to have a partner here in Polk.
Oh, wonderful. And Jim, what about your closing remarks?
Certainly. Well, again, we're grateful to Polk County for all that you've done to help support our project, and certainly I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Mosaic and their bold vision to build this remarkable destination. So it's just very exciting. It's a discovery destination. We have a lot of work to do on the marketing side to get the word out there, but every day more and more people are discovering what Streamsong is, and they're telling their friends. And so we're excited about the growth. We're excited about the opportunities for this area, and of course in the hospitality in general. So,
Commissioner.
I would just like to say thank you to Mosaic for their vision of taking this property and building a hotel on it. And you know, you see land that's been dug up and phosphate's been dug out of it, but for their vision to build a hotel and you know, and bringing people to Polk County, bringing the economic impact that I go back on with the jobs that they've created, over 300 jobs, is, you know, phenomenal for Polk County. And I'm just glad that we have this partnership and look forward to their new golf course opening and bringing new people to Polk County.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Well, that's it for this part of it, but stay with us. We have more Commissioner's Report coming up right after this.
I'm doing my part. Are you doing yours?
Commissioner Ed Smith was first elected to the Polk County Board of County Commissioners in November 2008 and was re-elected for a second term in November 2012. Since entering office, he has worked to streamline government, create efficiencies, and consolidate efforts without compromising services. He also held leadership positions of board chair in 2010 to 2011 and vice chair in 2009 and 2010. County commissioners are limited to 2 terms, and it's now time for Commissioner Smith to leave office. As we look back, Commissioner Smith has an extensive career in public service.
I began in the Naval Reserve program, as a matter of fact, in Winter Haven, and was in the reserves through college for a 6-year period, and then went on active duty in the United States Navy, and had 28 years on active duty. I served on 6 different ships, as a matter of fact. Progressed through the enlisted grades from seaman recruit to Master Chief Petty Officer, and retired as a limited duty officer lieutenant in surface electronics. And I just enjoyed every bit of it. As I said, 14 years of my time in the Navy was at sea. The Polk County School Board, I began as a teacher in the classroom at Stamball Middle School in Auburndale. And from there, I went to Jewett Academy still as a teacher, and then to a couple of other schools, but wound up at Auburndale High School for my last 10 years before retiring. I was head track coach for 2 years and was administrator there.
Commissioner Smith went from the military to educator and then into politics. He served as a city commissioner in Lake Alfred. He also served as a vice mayor and a mayor in Lake Alfred.
People say, well, Lake Alfred is not Polk County. Well, that's true, but you know, a lot of it's amazing that a lot of the same problems exist. You know, there's always more needs than there is budget or money to fill the needs. The budget here just has a lot more zeros, but it's still a requirement to do that, and the bottom line is, of course, the responsibility there is to serve the people and to make life better, both in a city and in Polk County, and that's what we like to do.
One of the projects Commissioner Smith pushed for was the newly built parking garage between the Polk County BOCC and the courthouse. Now, in July 2013, Commissioner Smith explained why it was an important project to accomplish.
Well, to give you a little bit of history of that, Mr. DeGennaro, you know, when I was elected in 2008, this is the first thing that kind of jumped to mind here, because as a matter of fact, several of the people who were coming to my swearing-in ceremony almost missed it because they were driving in circles looking for a place to park. So I knew there was a problem here, and I said, you know, I think the solution here is to have a parking garage. Others were talking about, well, we need to buy more land and make more parking lots, et cetera, et cetera. And after checking into it, I found out, you know, this was not anything new, that people had been suggesting and working on this, and by people I mean commissioners, for at least 15 years. And it just never came to fruition. And so I said, well, you know, maybe we need to start working it again, and I brought the issue up, and we began to work, and we began to talk, and we began to talk with potential contractors and how we could do it and what could do, and some of them came up with the idea that why don't we form a P3 partnership here, and maybe we can get this thing done. So sure enough, we were able to bring that forward in the form of an RFP, and 6 companies bid and this was to design, finance, construct, operate, and maintain a 600-space parking garage. And so the RFP was put out, and as I said, 6 companies bid on it. The place for it is to be between the old, well, the Sheriff Crow building, I guess, and the administration building and the courthouse. In other words, in the space between the three of them.
In August, the parking garage was officially opened. Let's take a look at some highlights.
Construction schedule on this project, we broke ground on November 18th of last year, and the contractor gave us substantial completion on July 28th, just a week or so ago. So just over 8 months to construct what has turned out to be a beautiful parking garage.
Another project Commissioner Ed Smith pushed for after seeing a need was the restoration of the Inwood community.
Believe it or not, it's about 4,000 people that live in that Inwood area. It's located between Winter Haven and Auburndale.
Okay.
It is in unincorporated Polk County, but honestly, it is an urbanized area now because when my wife lived in that area, she said it was very rural. There were cow pastures around their house, and one family raised horses, but that's not true now. I think just about every lot in Inwood is built out. There may be some vacancies, but not many.
Yeah, that's interesting how there are some places down in South Polk County where you see the cattle, but not there in near Winter Haven or Auburndale too much anymore.
Not much anymore,
yeah.
No.
Well, for years, the county, I know, has been working with ongoing maintenance, the infrastructure, whether it's with sidewalks or drainage or the streets, and that's certainly what's been going on there. And maybe we can start off with talking about some of the needs. As you mentioned, when you became a commissioner, you saw some needs there. And well, let's go ahead and start with, I think we want to start with maybe some of the road resurfacing.
Okay, yeah, that's a good place to start. Polk County made a determination back in about 2008 to start a program there of resurfacing some of the streets in Inwood that badly needed it. And we made the determination that we were going to invest $8 million in that effort of resurfacing these streets out there. And so we sat down and we made a plan, and we divided the streets into 8 segments, and we'd do $1 million each year with that. And so we have progressed with it.
Recycling was also an important topic for Commissioner Smith.
It cleans up our areas. We need to do that primarily. The second thing is, you know, we have, regardless of what we think, we have limited space in our landfills. We can't just keep landfilling and landfilling and landfilling. We've got to do something with this material. The smart thing to do, of course, is to reuse it or to recycle it.
Even though Commissioner Smith had the opportunity through this show to talk about his accomplishments, he felt it was important to share the spotlight with city leaders within his district. Last November, he highlighted Lake Alfred. Now let's take a look at a quick snippet of that discussion.
And so part of the challenge is just promoting it and building that awareness. You know, oftentimes we'll hear about Bach Tower or the Circle B, but you know, we've got the Mackay Preserve in Lake Alfred, so that's something that we've pushed the last several years. And you know, even when we go back to the budget, you know, we've located some staff down there to where there's a presence throughout the week, and we're booked out until April now just for weddings. So even revenue-wise, we've probably quadrupled our wedding revenue that we were receiving there. We've got a very, very active volunteer group down there. Can't speak enough about them. You know, as a smaller city, we don't necessarily have all the manpower to do everything, you know, within the payroll system. So again, we've got a very active volunteer group that they'll give nature walks and tours and help maintain the grounds. So it really is a team effort there with the community, the commission, and the staff. And again, it's one of those jewels of Lake Alfred and of Polk County.
Thanks for giving us this opportunity to spotlight Lake Alfred. It's as I said, one of the hidden jewels, I think, probably of Polk County.
He also featured Polk City.
This is something I've really looked forward to, is to be able to kind of spotlight some of the cities in my district. And as you know, last time we had Lake Alfred on and showed some of the things that they have there, and a lot of unknown things. And this time we're going to get the opportunity to put the spotlight on Polk City, a beautiful little community in my district in northern Polk County. And I've got with us here today, of course, Mayor LaCascia, and I'm going to just kind of let him brag on his city a little bit.
Well, Polk City, in 1800s, the farmers started clearing and developing land, and then in 1922, Mr. Van Horn, Isaac Van Horn, was down here traveling through Polk County and came through this area, and he fell in love with it in 1922 and decided he wanted to settle here and thought maybe he could dig for oil. So he started developers. He got developers in where we are now, downtown, and this became Polk City. In 1925, they incorporated. And as with any small city, you have your trials and tribulations with water and wastewater. And he decided he could not find oil, and he moved on. It's a very friendly town, and you don't have a lot of large businesses here. It's a lot of family. It's a family feeling when you come here to Polk City. One of the major attractions for Polk City is our Van Fleet Trail. They come from all over the state of Florida to take the trail. It goes all the way up to Lake County. We also have nearby that's got considered still Polk City is Fantasy of Flight. We stay in a small rural community, and it's great.
Down this road, I am told there is a place known as the best kept secret in Polk County. Well, we're here in Polk City, and coming up, we're going to find out where that place actually is. We're here at Camp Gilead, and I'm here with Mr. Ken Pritt. He's the executive director here. Welcome to the show, Ken.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. So, I hear you guys are the best secret here in Polk County. Tell me why.
Absolutely. I'd like to be able to say that's not the case, but as we have opportunity to meet people every day here in Polk County, we find out they've never heard about Camp Gilead, even though we've been here since 1938.
1938, that's a while, and from what I understand, quite a number of people in high-profile positions actually came through this very camp. In fact, Commissioner Smith is one of them.
Yes, Commissioner Smith was one of our campers. Kelly Stargell, one of our state senators, was a camper here, circuit court judges.
And the same for Eagle Lake.
And I also want to welcome the mayor here. This is the third in a series of highlights, I guess we could call it, that we're doing for the cities in my district. And you recall, we've taken Eagle Lake and now, and then before we've taken Polk City and Lake Alfred. And so we'll just keep moving through and give them a chance to really brag on their city, because each little city, each community has some things that we probably don't know about that they are very, very proud of. So we want to welcome the mayor. I'm glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
And I'm sure you'll give us a lot of information we didn't know.
We are going to miss Commissioner Ed Smith on the show, and we wish him the very best. In the near future, you will get to meet Commissioner-elect Bill Braswell, who will replace the District's 3 seat. His term starts on November 22nd. That's it for this show. See you next time.